afternoon, everyone. It is a hot as heck day today, and so, of course, like very smart people, in the very middle of it, we're going to do some yard maintenance. We've done a lot of stuff in the main garden, tearing out the spring garden, summer garden. So we're doing a little bit of cleanup here now that our yard debris bin is available. And then the bulk of our time is going to be spent trying to get this section into some sort of shape so that we can put in our round raised beds and get them prepped for when our seed garlic comes. Hopefully that is also going to include clearing this bin out and taking it down, but we'll see. Mainly what I want to get done is getting these 4 posts removed. Basically, we're going to try and make sure we cut them so that they are level to the ground. Maybe weed eat some of the larger plants and try and level out the surface that's within the borders. We're going to keep the border in place, and then we're going to just cover it all with yard fabric. We'll see how that ends up going, how it looks, how usable that is, and if we need to make some adjustments to that idea, we'll do that. But that's kind of the plan for today, and I guess we'll just wait and see how we get there. Now, as far as this mint is concerned, obviously the bees are still really enjoying it, at least the ones that still have a little bit of flowers on it, but it's getting to the end of its life cycle. So if we are able to get to the point where we raise this, that's great. I will say we do not plan to retain any of this. This whole thing's gonna go. So if we are able to get that all done at the same time before we put the plastic down, this whole area will have the yard or land fabric on it, similar to what's underneath here for our expansion. And then we'll probably get some more bark nuggets as time allows and time progresses to cover that yard fabric. I would like to see some kind of structure here, a table of some sort, so that we can deal with all of these things in planters, because I'm not super fond of them just sitting in the blueberry area. It makes it kind of difficult to move around, but we'll have to kind of figure that out as well. All right, once we have some progress, I will come back with an update. Okay, it is a Saturday morning in October, and we have taken the step to get the yard fabric down. It's not perfect. I didn't expect it to be. You can see we did go ahead and cover the border edge. There is room for a secondary bin, or bed, which we will be putting in later. We have started to fill this one. We put some of our branches and logs in the bottom. We took the cardboard from this container, the packaging box, broke that down, put it in here, and then all of this dirt came from our dwarf tomatoes that we have decommissioned for this season, as well as we used the potato dirt for something else. So this may actually just be from the dwarf tomatoes. Now, obviously, there are going to be pockets of air underneath there. Once it starts to rain, that should hopefully help it kind of condense down. We're going to wait for a rain event and then come back and see where the levels land before we go and purchase some more dirt and soil to bring it up to surface. Hopefully that'll happen prior to receiving the garlic, because the goal is for this to be our garlic bed. And we do have 1 bag of the steer manure blend that we put in there as well. I'm anticipating maybe 6 bags of the 2 cubic foot raised bed soil should do it, but I could be wrong and we may need a little bit more. But what we'll do, we'll wait for the rain event, see what settles out, go by what we think is going to be enough, put it in, and then wait. And once the garlic does arrive, right before we go to plant that, we'll reassess, add some more soil as needed. In the bed that's going to be over here, haven't really decided, but it will be something that we'll be planting in the spring. So we'll have, the winter and early spring to get all of its dirt and soil and all of that stuff settled. And once we do, we can kind of make the decision of how we're going to organize the garden. As a reminder, we do want to have a separate area for our peppers from our tomatoes, which we did combine this year. So potentially this could be our pepper bed. We could decide to do, a small squash bed, or I don't even know, carrot bed, maybe even make this one an onion bed to go with the garlic bed. And then that would open up a fair amount of room in any of the other bins. I always call them bins instead of beds, even though they're raised beds, than what we have. And here's what the raised beds look like right now. They are in a little bit of a disarray. As we can see, we've got our netting up to try and keep the squirrels out of stuff for our fall crop. But yeah, there's not a ton of stuff left in here, but there's enough. Anyway, the point of this video is our second phase of the remodel / extension of the garden. We will not be doing anything with this section right now. One, haven't 100% decided what we want to do with this area. Pie in the sky, if we could afford it, would love to have some kind of greenhouse put in. That would take a lot of manipulation of the area. I mean, we can see here that there is definitely a depression because we dug fairly deeply when we were emptying the bed of the dirt. So yeah, there would be a lot of leveling that need to be done, and who knows what else to put a proper greenhouse in. So with that being on the mostly unlikely side of things, we still have to kind of figure out what do we want to do with this area. I think in the meantime, as best as I can manage it, maybe find some tables that are weatherproof, weather ready to put out, so I can at least put our pots out there, because right now we have them congregating over here in our berry area, and I don't love it. It makes it very inconvenient to wander around. So I would like to have a different place for that stuff. Okay. All right, so we will keep you posted. For you, it'll be a blip of a second. For us, it will probably be a number of weeks before we are back and dealing with this area. Until then, well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Black Petal Gardening. This is Sia. And at the top, I want to say thank you for checking out what we've got going on. If this is the first time you've seen our videos, welcome. And if you've been here before, as always, a very huge amount of gratitude and welcome back. I have been over here checking out our cucamelon, or Mexican sour gherkin, as the seed packet calls them, plant, which is still going strong, and picking some of the ones that feel and look like they might be ready to go. I've already got enough to do a 1-jar batch of pickling, and I'm going to be doing that soon, but can't hurt to get some more ready for the next batch, especially for as long as this plant stays alive. But the reason we are here is to check on our progress with the old raised bed area and our intentions of kind of transforming it. Now, this should be tacked on to the end of another video that we've taken earlier, where we've done some additional work. So I'm just going to jump into where we're at, and that is this has been completed, putting down the yard fabric. It is not perfect, it is not professional, but it is done to the extent that we're going to do it. There are still areas that need to be taken care of, which will not be happening for a while, at least not like this year. Maybe once things settle down after the winter, we can get in and clear this and start putting some yard fabric down to, you know, keep the weeds and everything down. Is the same thing over in this area. And then, of course, getting our raised bed that has all of the mint taken down and that mint just raised to the ground and covered so that it hopefully doesn't come back. We have mint everywhere. It is exceptionally annoying how well it spreads, and I don't want it to be all over the place. So the idea is that this whole area will be eventually covered in the fabric, and then in the long run we'll put, you know, bark nuggets or, you know, down. So this will be one entire area of gardening and growing, stuff like that. Obviously, lots left to do, but what we are done with, at least for now, is our first raised bed. And this one is one of the Birdie Beds tall rounds, and if we could have gotten the same color that we had as over here, we would have, but it wasn't available, and really it's not that big a deal. But anyway, we were able to get this nice and filled because we utilized a lot of our already used soil. So we had a ton of soil from the dwarf tomatoes that we took out, and we were reusing that. We had some flower pots as well as other plantings that we liberated the soil from, and then we did end up purchasing 6 of the 2 cubic foot raised bed soil bags from a local, you know, gardening store, and use that. We also have, I think, a bag of the manure mulch stuff in here. And once our garlic actually arrives, I will be doing some kind of top dressing, probably with some worm castings, some slow release fertilizer, and then figuring out, I'll probably put a leaf mulch over the top as well. I'm thinking that this should be a good size for all of the garlic that I've ordered. In most cases, I want to say I only ordered 1 clove of the different varieties, and you know, those could hold, you know, 5 to 8 of the smaller cloves, or 1 bulb, I guess is what you should call it, and then those will have, you know, 5 to 8 cloves within it. And so I'm thinking that this should give us plenty of room for planting all of that. In the event it doesn't, I'm going to have to make a decision on where else I want to plant it, which I have not figured out yet. So I'm kind of banking on this being plenty of room. That said, really, I just wanted to do an update to say we have completed our raised bed number 1 and the garlic bed, and it is ready, mostly ready for planting. It just needs that top dressing I was talking about. And so one of our future videos, coming very soon, will be the one where we do plant and get ready for planting the garlic, so that it can overwinter and then be available for us to harvest probably next June or July. Anyway, thank you for your time. Really appreciate you checking us out. I'm not sure why this rocket's in here, but anyway, it looks like we've got a few of those. It's amazing what pops up when you're not looking for them. I did not sift any of the soil before putting it in here. Maybe I should have. But as I was saying, thank you for your time. As always, if you have suggestions, ideas, or just want to say hi, please drop that into the comments. We do read and try and respond to every single one of them because we absolutely appreciate you taking the time to not only watch the video but share your input. And I guess we'll see you in the next one. So take care of yourselves. Bye bye.